Okay, so I'm going to work out number 12, solving for the area of this circle. The first thing I would probably write down is the formula for the area of a circle. That's going to be pi r squared. And so that means I need to figure out what the actual radius is in this problem. The sneaky part is that this value here is the radius as well as this value here. And because this is a tangent line and a radius, I know that they form a right triangle. So based on that, I can use the Pythagorean Theorem, R48, and I'm going to call that 20 plus R. Make sure you don't call that 20R. It has to be 20 plus R. And then I'll just work out the Pythagorean Theorem. So that's going to be R squared plus 48 squared equals 20 plus R squared. So the most common mistake that I'll see here is people trying to distribute the squared and forgetting that they actually need to expand this binomial and multiply it out completely. In order to do that, I typically do the distributive property twice. There's a couple different options you can use. So let's see, that'll be R squared. 48 squared is 2304. And then if I were to go ahead and expand that, 20 times 20 is 400. And then 20 times R is 20R. R times 20 is 20R. And R squared is, sorry, R times R is R squared. I can combine my two like terms here. Now, if you had any trouble with this is called multiplying binomials. So if you need to look up any videos on YouTube, I'm sure there's a lot that can help you with that. Usually whenever you're solving an equation that has an R squared and an R, this is kind of like, I don't know, the worst thing in my opinion. I hate seeing R squared and R. What it means is in order to solve the problem, unless you can make one of those go away completely, you're going to have to do the quadratic formula or factor. But thankfully right here, once we move the R squared to the other side, our R squareds actually both cancel out, which is lovely. So now I just have an easy equation to solve using algebra. I can move 400 to the other side. That would give me 1904 equal to 40R. And then my last step is just going to be to divide both sides by 40. Well, my last step in solving for R. That's going to tell me that R is 47.6. And now I can go ahead and plug that into my equation for area, which is pi r squared. So I'm going to go ahead and do pi. Now please, oh, that's not one that's a terminating decimal. I was just going to say, please make sure that you always leave these decimals in your calculator because usually it's a much longer number. I don't want you rounding until the last step. But this is a terminating decimal, which is lovely. So I'll just do 4.76 squared. So on this calculator, on the Casio FX260 Solar, the squared button, I don't know if you can see that, the squared button is going to be 2 over, or 3 over, so I just squared it. And then times, to get to the pi key, you need to hit EXP. So EXP will make pi show up on the screen, and then I can just hit equals. So that'll be my final answer of 7,118.09. And that'll be feet squared.